Technologic.
Marketing Tech Blog.
You know, you can really get trapped in that web of beepers and Zenith televisions and Walkmans and Discmans and floppy disks, and zip drives, laser discs, answering machines, and Nintendo Power Glove.
Wow, you know so much about technology.
Technologic.
I really hope that you were making that funny little dance that you do whenever the floppy disk goes off.
I love that. Put your hands in the air. Never mind.
Hey, Doug, we actually found like 10 floppy disks at the office the other day.
No, are you serious?
in the closet.
Wow. Send them to the Smithsonian.
Hey, I got a Trash 80 Model 3, baby.
That's awesome.
I know. I'm going to make it a fishbowl.
I learned how to program BASIC on a TRS-80.
There you go.
So,
see, it's all good.
Those were the old days. So hey, listen, we've been doing a webinar, and there's been a ebook that we put out there with the folks at Meltwater. Meltwater is basically a platform where public relations professionals can look up who the influencers are, reporters, journalists, bloggers, and then basically send them pitch emails to run, stories about your company or what have you. And Meltwater is huge. They're all over the world. And so I had the pleasure of doing this presentation for the U.S. first, and then I did it for the U.K. Earlier in the week. And then last night I actually got to do my first webinar with the Asia Pacific region. So I had people in Malaysia and Bali and all kinds of cool things on the webinar. So fun stuff.
Huh.
And what we were talking about with the webinar, and I think it's applicable to somewhat to what we're talking about here, is the interactivity of the web and what we are seeing, especially with our clients as well, and that's what we report on quite a bit, is that people are building these beautiful brochure websites that are almost like a print piece just online. And there's a huge problem with that online. For one thing, there's been some great, Nielsen has done some great user-based experience research where on a given web page, people only have time to read about 28% of the words on an average visit, and it's really about 20% that's more likely. So, so people aren't reading your website. People are kind of browsing your website. Mm-hmm. And this points to, kind of another thing. And a lot of people want to say, they want to turn that around and say, okay, well, we just need a visual website and that's it. No, what we're saying is you need a combination. You need to allow the person visiting your website to go deeper and deeper as much as they'd like, and of course, contact you when they want the information that they want. And so I don't want to tell people don't use text, just put pictures everywhere. But what I do want to say is, you want to have options. And cognition is a huge piece of that. And so I think we've talked about this before, but research shows that, when you add visuals, you increase the comprehension, persuasion, and sharing of people that visit your website. And then when you make your site even more interactive, mm-hmm. that's when it really becomes a true tool for sales. And what I mean by that is the webinar, for instance. A webinar is an interactive engagement between someone on the web and the audience. And so those people got to ask me questions. They got to hear my voice. They got all of that that interaction there, and that's only available through the web. You can't do that, obviously, through a PDF or a one sheet or a brochure that you're putting out there. And so,
wait until the videos can actually be embedded in the print pieces. That's going to be fantastic. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think another 50 years.
Okay, fine. Never mind.
I'm just kidding. But my point is this: is that too many people look at their website. We know this, right? We talk about this all the time with you guys, right? That and you guys talk about it, on the show all the time. And that's that. This is a salesperson. The web is a gateway to sales into your organization. And if you're not utilizing it as a gateway, if you're just putting up a banner, for people to stop at and gawk at and then expect them to do something, you're making a huge mistake. And the exact example that I want to talk to everybody about was we had a company, a very large marketing firm, come in and talk to us last week, and they basically said, you know what, we're doing everything right. We have the ebooks out there, we have the white papers, we have videos, we have this, and every single month the number of visitors to our site is increasing. The bounce rate is going down, so people aren't leaving. They're reading more pages. They're spending more time, but we're just not seeing an increase in the number of conversions. And a conversion meaning converting someone from just visiting the website to actually engaging, with the company.
Right.
And so my immediate question was, well, how are you prompting that engagement? And I got a blank look back. And so I talked to them. We're using a little platform, and Aaron, I've shared it with you guys. We're using one called Intercom.
Yep.
And you've seen on a lot of websites that they have these chat pop-ups. I think you guys have one as well, a real-time dialogue where you can start an engagement with a person. But I said to them, I said, have you tried, since you know that you've got an engaging website and people are reading it and people are visiting it, have you actually tried to engage with them? And they said, well, we don't have someone that can sit around and answer, website requests all day in real time. We can't afford that. And I said, well, these tools work a little bit differently, and that's that people can ask a question, and if you're unavailable, it'll ask them for their email address where they can respond later.
Right.
And so, and I don't mean to glorify this or anything, but so this company went back that day. Actually, not that day, the next day, and they got a trial account for one of these pieces of software. They put it on their website, and their website, as soon as someone visited, it popped up, hey, is there some way that we can help you? And then if they wrote in a question, we're looking for, print pieces, blah, 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 it would say, well, we're not available right now, but, if you add your email address, we'll email you right back. That guy called me up that night and said, we added it this morning, and it looks like we're closing on a $10,000 deal today that came through the website. And so that tells you just the power of this, that when you interact, when you make it an interactive, engagement with the people on your website, they are more likely. Think about it. Just go into a store. You walk into a store, you get what you want, and you get out. But if you walked into a store and they said, hey, what kind of project are you working on today? And they said, hey, I'm going to be working on this. And you say, oh, well, this is we've had a couple of people ask about this, and here's the system that they're using. Well, you might be more likely to either spend more money, purchase right away, do whatever. And so what I want to tell people is, if I go to your website and you're not prompting me somehow to engage with you, you've got a real opportunity there to do more business online. And I don't care whether you're selling pizzas or selling, enterprise software. Prompt your users, ask them how you can help them, and they will be thankful for that, and they'll let you know.
Yeah, they'll appreciate that level of availability that you're providing there. Absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Doug, from Marketing Tech Blog. Can you tell us how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So you can follow me on Twitter at Douglas Carr, Karr. You can, of course, search for the Marketing Tech Blog, and you'll find it. If you want the ebook, let Aaron and the team know at Site Strategics that you'd like a copy of the ebook, and I can route that over to you guys.
Absolutely. And always check out Marketing Tech Blog. It's fantastic information for the novice of digital marketing to the savvy marketer. There's always new information coming out there. And these ideas of these simple tools that make such a great impact on companies' ROI, you're hurting yourself right now, since you're not looking at Marketing Tech Blog. So go check it out. Well, after the show, but check it out anyway. All right, hey, what's coming up?